What happens when you log off social media for 72 hours? Well, your brain will actually thank you for it. It's Bex, your favorite podcast host here, and I'm going to be your guinea pig this week. So I kept seeing all these posts about what happens to your brain after 72 hours of social media detoxing and how even just those 3 days can really reset what your brain and what you really need. Well, it's been 2 days for me so far. So today's technically day 2, and I've already started to notice some changes. I actually noticed them on day 1. I'm so excited to share my personal experience with all of you, and maybe you'll want to try it yourselves, who knows? But let's dive into Offline and Rewired, what happens to your brain after 72 hours off social media. Disclaimer, as usual, this is not medical advice. Do what works for you. You're choosing to listen to me on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts right now, so just be conscious of what you're consuming. Day 1, this is when you can experience the noise withdrawal. This was me yesterday. I honestly noticed that the day went by really slow and in a good way. Like, I felt like I had more time. I felt like there were times where I would accidentally quickly go to open up Instagram a few times just out of habit. I wouldn't stroll or check. I closed out right away, like panic closed out. And gosh, it's kind of embarrassing to say out loud. Like, I have self-control, I promise. But I notice how frequently I just go to open up the app and just to be entertained for like 5 minutes if I'm just like bored or have a little bit of downtime. But I noticed that those moments of downtime, rather than scrolling, I've been creating. So I've actually been taking time to kind of jot down some ideas on my notepad or to whip up this whole series called The Brew with Bex. That was actually initiative was taken on this yesterday. I made some awesome new graphics for the segment The Brew with Bex, and I'm really just knocking out these episodes, which is exciting. And there's more time left in the day. I noticed that I was more present since taking this detox, and I, made lunch, went for a walk, didn't check social media. Obviously I still work, but I wasn't picking up my phone to fill up any sort of time. I felt like I've already been significantly more productive since being on day 2 of this social media detox. And I've taken, so many social media detoxes before, but it's usually just like a day. So this is my like 3-day social media detox. Actually, I don't know if I could say that. I mean, there's times I've taken like weeks off from social media, but maybe I've opened up the app just to like check and see what's going on. It wasn't like officially like we're not going on at all for 3 days. But according to some studies, this may not be the same case for everyone. So if you're about to try this yourself, let's be real. The first 24 hours could be a little weird. You may be reaching for your phone like you're on autopilot. Your brain has been conditioned to expect hits of dopamine from likes, notifications, messages, and endless scrolls. Like, isn't that wild? Like, it's literally social media. And then when TikTok was down, we saw this a lot. So it's definitely a direct realization of how much power people give to these apps and how easy it is for them to get you like sucked in. But without it, you may feel restless, even anxious, and that's actually your brain in withdrawal. Like, it's missing a fix. So if you're experiencing this, it might be a good thing for you to take on this challenge, and that this discomfort can be a sign of how dependent we've become on this digital stimulation. So now we're moving on to day 2. This is where I currently am. And around the 48-hour mark, it says you may start to feel quieter. I think I'm past the 48-hour mark. You're not mentally bookmarking everything as content. I don't know necessarily that's, I mean, there are sometimes I'll catch myself like, what am I doing? Like I don't need to capture everything. But you're actually more present in conversations and daily tasks. I did notice this from personal experience. You might be quicker at your chores or household tasks. Did notice this with some laundry and putting away clothes and making beds, and like that has been a breeze because I feel like I'm surprised how quickly it takes me because I'm not, taking a break to scroll or listening to something while I'm doing it. And yeah, that definitely, I've noticed that one. You actually might be shopping when you go to the store and not, accidentally scrolling while waiting in line for your return at the register. And you may start to notice your surroundings again. So the way your coffee smells, the way your thoughts settle, and you kind of just sit and enjoy. Like, if you're eating breakfast by yourself in the morning, like maybe you're just enjoying a delicious breakfast without scrolling through and seeing what everybody else is up to. This is when your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus, decision-making, and regulating your emotions, starts to wake up again. That is so wild to me that I'm saying that. Like, it's usually, I guess, on autopilot. I don't really know. I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to this stuff. But when you're constantly scrolling, your brain's energy gets pulled away and pulled towards that instant gratification and rapid input, mostly processed it by, more reactive parts of the brain. So after 48 hours off of social media, that noise actually starts to die down. So Your mind shifts from reactive to reflective mode. You may think more clearly, make better decisions, and focus on tasks with more intention. It's like your mental executive center finally gets a space to breathe. And without that constant interruption, you can actually finish a thought. I'm gonna record like a high def video with my camera for you, and it just overheated. So if anyone wants to know, I'm using a mirrorless Sony A, I think it's the 5000 model, and it's really great quality. I don't know how the audio is going to be, so bear with me if you're listening to just the podcast. But we're moving on to day 3. We're gonna get this episode done before my camera overheats again. So day 3 is technically what they call the reset. So by 72 hours, something surprising happens where you actually might start to feel lighter. The comparison lifts, the FOMO fades, and you're no longer consuming everyone else's highlight reel. I actually feel like I've kind of hit this part maybe a little bit early. Maybe I'm an overachiever, but I think I don't miss Instagram or scrolling on social media, like really at all. Like I thought maybe I'd be like, oh, well, let's go see it and be entertained. I don't. I feel like it's kind of like when you're a kid during the summer and you like have those periods of being like bored because there's not, you're just kind of like vibing and moving around. Like I feel like I'm like filling my time with things that I usually didn't think I had the time to do. So anyways, that's my own tangent, but your thoughts are starting to become your own again. They're not borrowed from the algorithm anymore. And neurologically, your dopamine levels start to rebalance. So you may sense a greater feeling of calm and clarity. Some people even report sleeping better, feeling more creative. I definitely think the creative one is kicking in. You don't feel as behind, you feel back in control. So if you've been feeling scattered, overstimulated, or not just yourself lately, try it. 72 hours off, no judgment, no pressure. But your brain might be able to focus a little bit better. You might get deeper rest, and you might have a little peace of mind afterwards. I noticed I was feeling a little bit anxious lately, and I think that's one of the reasons why I was like, hey, let me take a detox from social media. I feel like that's something that gives everybody anxious, constant, rapid cortisol, whatever it may be. And I just tried it. So I said, Thursday, but really for 3 full days, I think that would be Friday, but just in time for my Fashion Fridays. Good thing this isn't live. But just in time for my Fashion Fridays, that would be Friday morning, right? And I doubt anybody will notice that I took a break, but I look forward to feeling much better at the end of this week. So far, I'm feeling great, minus, the sniffles. But lately, my anxiety was creeping in. I was hoping that this break would help give me a renewed sense of purpose with my content. I mentioned in some of the episodes on the Brew with Bex that I'm kind of figuring out what I want to do with the Bexy account. It's very much a work in progress. And hopefully this will give me a better understanding of how to use social media as a tool in my life and not just something that I grab when I'm bored or have some downtime. If you're interested in trying a break yourself, here's just a few quick tips to get you started. You can announce it or don't. I personally didn't. I don't think I really owe anybody on the internet anything until afterwards, where I feel like sharing everything with you guys on my podcast. But you can announce it if you think it'll help keep you accountable. You can tell your audience. If not, you can just creep away, post and ghost like I did, post it on Monday, goes to the rest of the week, whatever works best for you. You can delete the apps temporarily, out of sight, out of scroll, remove the apps from your phone. It'll help with making that habit loop a little bit harder to trigger if it's not in the same spot. You can turn off notifications. Even if you don't delete the apps, just get rid of the dings, no FOMO. Fill the scroll time with gaps. So this can be having a go-to list of offline activities, things you did before you had a smartphone, which sounds so old, like that I said that. But read a book, journal, or brain dump, or create content like me filming this for you. Take a walk, listen to a podcast, maybe this one. Try a new recipe. The goal is to replace the impulse, not just resist it. So use downtime features on your phone. That's super easy. You can set screen time limits or maybe downtime hours if you're looking to just limit your use, maybe not take that full detox. And keep a note of what you notice. How's your energy feeling? How's your focus? How's your thoughts? This reflection can be really eye-opening. It can help you with thinking about your strategy moving forward. So for me, it's like I want to create more. I don't want to sit and consume. And this break is giving me that time to really think about that. Make it a group effort. You can invite a friend to do it with you. Accountability tends to make things easier, and you can check in with each other when you are offline and hang out offline as well. And just remember to be kind to yourself. If you slip, don't sweat it. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. It's awesome that you're going to try this right now and that you're going to take that time. Even just cutting your use in half can have really significant mental benefits. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Branding with Bex podcast. Video, vlog, whatever it is on YouTube. I'm so stoked you decided to join me for today, and I hope you guys will give this a go. If not, if you do, let me know in the comments how it goes. If not, no big deal, and I will catch up with you all next week's episode. Does the same time work for you?